it would be wrong to adopt the report without any amendment when such a glaring misrepresentation is in the report, which that is not what the law says. Yes, they are saying we also need a referendum, which is not the correct position. A referendum is clearly defined under Articles 255 and 256. And you only go to a referendum when you're dealing with counties if you want to change the objects, principles, and structure of devolved units. Creating new counties do not interfere with objects under Article 174, principles under 175, and the structure under 176. Structure is simply that a county government will have a county executive and a county assembly. There's no other structure. So it is wrong. I think we need to amend some of these resolutions here and then, have accuracy in the report. So even though it is a product of negotiated settlement, we cannot allow it just to go with such misrepresentations. Secondly, I did make a presentation on party discipline as well as registration of new political parties. My presentation has not been covered here, and I would like it to go on record that, again, if you read the chapters on this report on party discipline, there is a lot of confusion, whether we are a presidential system, a parliamentary system, and if we are a parliamentary system, which one are we? What is being presented here is a situation where elections are elections of political parties, not of individuals who are elected by individual mandate from the people. We should look at what happens in pure presidential systems, which is a system of governance that we have in this country, and adopt mechanisms that encourage party discipline within a presidential system. We cannot be importing parliamentary systems, practices and norms of parliamentary systems into a presidential system without understanding what they are. What I'm trying to say is, in a parliamentary system, if you are elected as an individual in that party, there are certain freedoms and independence that you enjoy. If the party is elected and the party nominates you on the basis like in South Africa, there are certain limitations that you have. In a presidential system, you have a direct mandate from the people. You have a voice to vote as you wish in this house, only taking account of the interests of your people. That is what happens in America. That is what happens in all other jurisdictions with the presidential system. And that is where we should go. Finally, I did propose, because of the bad manners of many people in the Republic of Kenya and the problems that we are having, that it is essential to institute what I call nationhood science, so as to promote the values and principles under Article 10. I've not seen it captured here. I want it to go in the record of this House that I feel very strongly that we need to introduce civic education, entrepreneurship, and other things that will inculcate the national values and principles under Article 10 of the Constitution in our young before they get spoiled, rotten, and mess up our country. With those remarks, I will be moving some amendments on the recommendations of the report. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Next chance to the member for Marsabit, Honorable Wako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice to this very important debate on NADCO report, as I also take this opportunity to congratulate the committee members who sacrificed a lot of their time and came up with this report that will guide our nation into a better nation. Honorable Speaker, the time they spent and the memorandums they have received from different Kenyans, and when the majority leader was moving, he said that 60 stakeholders appeared before the committee, which means that Kenyans took a lot of interest in this and they participated fully. Again, the majority leader told us that out of their report, 9 legislation proposals have been developed, which clearly shows us that they have given a lot of attention, and the legislative proposals will of course capture the needs of this country and will guide us, as I said, into a better nation. IEBC, the issue of IEBC seems to have been given a lot of attention, and reconstituting IEBC, of course, is a major thing today. We are going to second year after elections, and we have a lot of gaps since we did our last elections, we need IEBC members to come in and IEBC Commission to start off their work so that we prepare ourselves, we take care of the past mess, and also make sure that we have filled the gaps. There are many MCS, many members of parliament who have gone to be with the Lord, and now if we reconstitute, then we will get on to work, and I recommend that the earlier we do, the better for our nation. Again, Madam Speaker, one encouraging thing that the majority leader said is that this House, this August House, has the mandate to extend the time in case we need, because the panel is to complete their work within 90 days. But if that is not achievable, then we have the mandate to add more days so that they can conclude. But it is my prayer that we will conclude this matter as soon as possible so that Kenyans will have the services that they need. Madam Speaker, the issue of delimitation of the boundaries is of interest to many of us, and we know that that time is also coming to an end. It is my prayer that we will come up with some proposals that will help us, because many counties, many wards, many areas have been suffering because of this challenge that we've had, and the earlier we also embark on this so that we can mark the boundaries so that people can coexist and also know their areas, that will also help our nation. One important thing they have covered is the issue of Ward Development Fund, which is a big encouragement to all our MCS, because as they sit and wait, once we approve this, then the MCS will be able to do their work freely without any challenge, without, placing the governor or the county executive. They'll be able to be empowered, because as of now, many of them are not able to do what they want to do in their counties, because they do not have these funds. And what I want to say on this is, even for the MCS, when these funds will be released and will be established, and of course implementation takes place, they should be accountable and they should have enough public participation so that the counties, the wards can benefit, and the people who elected them can also feel the power. And with those few remarks, I support, and it is my prayer that we will all participate in this debate. Thank you.
Honorable John Mbadi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I support this report, I want to mention a few things. Number one is for there to be a discussion or dialogue of this nature. Certainly it had to be preceded by some kind of or form of crisis. We had a crisis, as has been ably talked about by our minority leader. But Madam Speaker, we need to ask ourselves this question. I've been around here from 15th of January 2008. I've actually been in this chamber for more than 16 years. And every time, from that time of the 10th Parliament, when we had post-election violence, we keep on using the same words, same terminologies as both leaders today used. That never again will this country experience the kind of violence. I mean, this is becoming rhetoric, Madam Speaker, and I want to say that as a country we must ask ourselves fundamental questions. Why is it that after every election we always have a crisis in this country? That is the question that we need to address. But looking at this report, I'm afraid to say that we still fear. We still gloss over issues. We have not addressed the main issue, the biggest problem, the challenge that we are facing as a country. It is about the system of government. Madam Speaker, some people call it winner takes it all. Some other people call it the feeling and the sense of exclusivity and inclusivity. Why do some Kenyans feel belonging to this country more than others, especially when elections are conducted? We need to ask ourselves that question. And looking at this report, Madam Speaker, we are not solving this problem. If we have decided that this system of government, the presidential system, is not working for us, then why don't we go the full hog and go parliamentary system? Why are we again creating systems that are very difficult to understand? That you are creating an office of the opposition leader when you have a presidential system? How does it work? I mean, let us not pretend and cheat ourselves and lie to ourselves that we are solving this problem. We are not. And I am afraid to say that next time, again, after 5 years, we will be back to the same discussions. Madam Speaker, on the issue of electoral management and the team tasked with the responsibility to manage our election, Madam Speaker, the truth is that in this country, nobody is neutral. None of us. All of us vote. At least those who want to vote. Even those bishops, you give them a vote, they will vote for someone. So why do we pretend? And we know we are in a divided society. This country is almost split 50-50. For us to have confidence in the Electoral Commission, let us bite the bullet and say, those who are in the majority, bring this number of commissioners. Those who are in the minority, bring this number of commissioners to preside over election. And see where do we get the chairman. We can even appeal to our brothers. Let us not talk about sovereignty if we cannot manage it. Let us accept and even ask our partners, our friends across the continent, give us somebody. If Obasanjo can come all the way from Nigeria to come and mediate, we had Kofi Annan coming here to mediate. Why don't we just accept that because we can't trust any one of us to chair our commission and produce a good result, then let's go that route and have someone from out there to preside over election. Finally, Madam Speaker, if you allow me, on the issue of cost of living, my friend, those are opinions. Wait for your time. Who can help this member of parliament? Now, my last comment, Madam Speaker, if you allow me, is on the cost of living. Madam Speaker, let us not pretend and cheat ourselves that the cost of living has gone down. It is only food-driven inflation which has gone down, and that is because we have had good rains. Madam Speaker, it has nothing to do with inputs. If rains fail in this country even for one season, we will go back to where we were. All the time when we had good rains in this country, Madam Speaker, we have had good harvest, and the cost of food generally go down. Honorable Baya has no point. There's no point of order. Madam Speaker.
You know, I want to speak on that.
Honorable Mbadi, take your seat. Take your seat. Honorable Owen is on a point of order.
Point of order on relevance and truthfulness of information. You know, when John Mbadi stands, a ranking member, and says that cost of life has not gone down, I would like him to think like an economist, not as an accountant. You know, Honorable Speaker, you know, John Mbadi needs to know that when the dollar goes down, you know, the cost of production, the cost of export and import, all these go down. When they go down, they translate to money, real money that goes into the pockets of the people. When they go into the pockets of the people, it means they have more money.
Order, Honorable Owen Baya. That sounds like information. Honorable Mbadi, complete.
First of all,
what is out of order? There is no one on the floor. Honorable Roko, nobody is out of order. Honorable Mbadi, please conclude.
As I conclude, you know, when you hear the deputy leader of majority talk about the dollar going, what do you really mean? So talk about things that make sense. Which dollar is going down and which shilling is going up? You know, relevance, I am very relevant. I was talking about the NADCO report. It is Honorable Mbaya who has brought dollar, which is not in this report. But let me conclude, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, cost of living has not gone down. It will not go down with the way this government is managing our economy. It will not go down. I am telling you, let rains fail even for one season. We will be worse off than even we were last year. So let us not cheat ourselves. Let us address the issue of cost of living with clear minds, professionalism. Let us bring technical people who understand how systems work, not academics like David D. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I
Next
support.
chance to the member for Tigania West, Honorable John Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable